In life, what sport doesn't make you sweat or get dirty, excluding esports? If you're someone who is extremely clean and hates getting dirty, how could you possibly play soccer? Yet, there was a football prodigy who always tried to keep himself clean while playing. How could he manage that? The story begins with a soccer match of the Japan U16 team, where a player named Aoyama scored a goal, leading his team to victory. However, just as everyone was about to rush over to hug Aoyama in celebration, he dodged them because he was afraid of getting dirty. Aoyama was extremely clean, so he cleaned the classroom daily, and if there was even a speck of dust on a desk, he would wipe it until it shone like a mirror. In fact, before playing soccer, he would wash his hands with soap to ensure they were spotless. However, seeing Aoyama wash his hands for nearly an hour made his teammate, Zaizen, feel frustrated. Spikehead Zaizen was worried that Aoyama wouldn't touch the ball if he was so afraid of dirt. Zaizen even threw Aoyama a bottle of water, but Aoyama refused to drink from someone else's bottle. Before drinking, Aoyama would even clean the bottle thoroughly. When playing soccer, this clean freak never charged forward to steal the ball because he didn't want to touch other players. This made Zaizen furious, and he scolded Aoyama for not being serious about soccer. That evening, as Zaizen was returning to the club room, he unexpectedly ran into the coach and complained that the useless Aoyama always used cleanliness as an excuse to avoid playing. However, when Zaizen looked into the club room, he saw Aoyama sitting there, meticulously cleaning the soccer balls. The coach explained that Aoyama always cleaned the balls after each practice, proving that he genuinely loved soccer, contrary to what Zaizen thought. The next day, Minami High School's soccer team visited Fujimi School to find Aoyama. Zaizen was about to greet Minami's captain, Takechi, but was ignored because Takechi only wanted to talk to Aoyama. Knowing Aoyama's skill level, Takechi invited him to join Minami's team, arguing that someone of Aoyama's caliber shouldn't play for an amateur team like Fujimi. However, Aoyama replied that this place had something he needed that other schools didn't offer. Shortly after, Takechi's Minami team played a match against Aoyama's Fujimi team. Since Takechi kept taking off his shirt to show off his abdominal muscles, the referee immediately gave him a yellow card. After Fujimi conceded a goal, Aoyama stole the ball, outmaneuvered the opposing defense, and skillfully shot the ball through the goalkeeper's legs into the goal, leaving everyone in awe. Thanks to Aoyama, Fujimi continued to score more goals, and even Spikehead Zaizen had to admit Aoyama's extraordinary talent, despite his eccentric behavior. Seeing that Aoyama was tightly marked, Zaizen seized the opportunity to rush forward and try to score for the team. However, this wooden leg kicked the ball straight into the sky, leaving even the opposing team speechless. Right after that, as it started to rain, Zaizen noticed that Aoyama wasn't running and was just standing still. Zaizen realized that Aoyama refused to continue playing because he was afraid of getting mud splashed on him. So, Zaizen and the rest of the team had to defend against the attacks from the Minami team. Zaizen attempted a header toward the opposing team's goal, but it hit the crossbar and bounced out. Suddenly, Aoyama dashed forward and kicked the ball into the opponent's net, catching Zaizen by surprise. It turned out that in the last 5 minutes of the match, Aoyama no longer feared getting dirty. But when Zaizen rushed to hug Aoyama to celebrate the victory, Aoyama, as usual, dodged the embrace. On the way back, Takechi thought maybe he should transfer to Fujimi School. He wondered what kept Aoyama so attached to the Fujimi team. It turned out that Aoyama liked Fujimi because the bathrooms there had bidets to clean yourself after using the toilet. After a practice session, the clean freak kicked all the soccer balls into a bin to take them back to clean. However, one ball accidentally flew straight into Zaizen's face. When they returned to the club room, the team found it impeccably clean, but since Aoyama had been practicing with them, he couldn't have been the one to clean it. They guessed that someone was secretly tidying up the club room for them. Meanwhile, Aoyama noticed a strange stuffed bear placed inside his locker. In the following days, the club room continued to be cleaned by this mysterious person, leading the team to believe that a kind-hearted fairy was helping them. It turned out that the person cleaning the room was their classmate, Mocha. As an Isekai master thief, she could easily unlock the clubroom. Mocha had secretly admired Aoyama since they were in middle school together. Back then, she had made a bunch of stuffed bears in various sizes to give to Aoyama, but he insisted that she wash them thoroughly before he would accept them. Since entering high school, Mocha hadn't had the chance to give more stuffed bears to Aoyama. So, she secretly cleaned the soccer club room every day and left a stuffed bear in his locker. One day, while Mocha was cleaning, she was caught by Aoyama. Afraid that he would scold her for entering the room without permission, timid Mocha was surprised when Aoyama simply reminded her to use proper cleaning supplies next time to make sure everything was truly clean. Mocha confessed to the entire soccer team that she had been secretly cleaning their club room recently because she wanted to make someone happy. Hearing this, all the losers thought she was talking about them, and each one felt elated. The team captain, seeing this, officially allowed Mocha to become the team's manager. Mocha's job was to take care of everything so the team could focus on training. The team was shocked to see Aoyama's fanbase growing rapidly, not only among pretty girls, but also among the losers. After practice, a glasses-wearing pervert suddenly started sniffing Aoyama's towel and claimed it had a sophisticated, elegant scent, unlike anything he'd smelled before. This led the other pervert losers to secretly sniff Aoyama's towel while he was busy playing soccer. But Zaisen was disgusted by their creepy behavior of smelling someone else's towel. However, Mocha discovered that those guys on the team were secretly sniffing her beloved Aoyama's towel. In response, she made a spiked baseball bat to punish anyone who dared to sniff her boyfriend's towel. Rumors about Aoyama's magical, fragrant towel quickly spread throughout the school, and hundreds of students rushed to the soccer field, trying to steal it. But when Zaisen showed his anger, they backed off because his father was very wealthy, and everyone was wary of him. That evening, while Zaisen was sitting in the clubroom, a sudden gust of wind blew Aoyama's towel away, and Zaisen hurried to catch it. Upon catching a whiff of the towel's scent, Zaisen was reminded of his dear mother. He began inhaling the scent deeply, only for Aoyama to catch him in the act. Aoyama, now suspicious that Zaisen was a pervert, told him to throw the towel away. Aoyama usually rode his bike to school instead of taking the train because he was afraid of accidentally touching other people. Today, as Aoyama and some teammates were heading home, it suddenly started raining, so they all went into a fast food restaurant to take shelter from the rain. While the rest of the team ordered a ton of food, Aoyama, being a clean freak, refused to eat or drink anything prepared by others. Takechi suddenly appeared and began taunting Aoyama's team, calling them a bunch of worthless losers. He was still determined to convince Aoyama, a star player, to leave this useless team. A fat, monkey-faced loser named Yoshioka challenged Takechi to a food-eating contest. The two of them ate like maniacs, neither one able to outdo the other. Even though Takechi used his power of friendship skill to gain an advantage in the contest, when he saw the final dish, a massive cup of ice cream, he quickly gave up. The next day, Aoyama's team was set to play a preliminary match against Takada Academy. While Aoyama was washing his hands outside, a strange girl asked him to help carry something. But once she lured him into the filthy soccer club room of Takada Academy, she locked the door and tried to sell him watermelons. It turned out she was the girlfriend of Takada's loser captain and didn't want a superstar like Aoyama to participate in the match. Back on the field, Aoyama's teammates grew anxious as they waited for him to show up. Without their clean freak, their team quickly fell behind, with Takada scoring 2 goals. Fortunately, Mocha, the sneaky thief, managed to unlock every door in search of Aoyama and found him just before the match ended. She used her spiked baseball bat to threaten the watermelon-selling girl into letting Aoyama go. When Aoyama returned, the whole team was overjoyed, while the ugly captain of Takada's team started feeling extremely nervous. Immediately, the useless clean freak, Aoyama, single-handedly dribbled the ball and scored for Fujimi. Although he expertly dodged the opposing defenders, after passing the ball to the blockhead Zaisen for a header, Aoyama was deliberately fouled by Takada's team. Now, with his once pristine self covered in dirt, Aoyama became truly useless. He stood frozen, struggling to move. With just 5 minutes left in the game, the score was tied at 2-2. The ugly captain of Takata dribbled the ball towards the goal and unleashed a powerful shot. But in that moment, the useless player wearing the number 10 jersey, Aoyama, leapt up and blocked the shot. It was time for Aoyama, the clean freak, to stop being afraid of getting dirty. He took control of the ball, dribbled past the defenders, and shot it into the net, securing the victory for Fujimi. After the game, the watermelon-selling girl broke up with Takata's ugly captain and became a fan of the quirky, clean freak Aoyama. In Aoyama's class, there is another quirky clean freak named Narita, but unlike Aoyama, Narita hides this from others because he sees it as a weakness. As a result, he stays indoors playing video games to avoid exposure to dust and smoke outside. Narita usually arrives at class very early to clean his desk and chair so that no one notices his habits. However, unlike Aoyama, he lacks advanced evasive skills and often runs into trouble with his mischievous classmates. They spill milk or even sneeze on his desk. Today, Aoyama's class had a cooking lesson, and everyone was amazed at Narita's chopping skills, which resembled those of Gordon Ramsay. However, Aoyama's skills were even more flawless. Clean freaks often cook at home to ensure cleanliness, so their cooking skills tend to be excellent. Aoyama prepared a mushroom soup that made everyone who smelled it hungry. Even students from other classes, while still studying, were drawn in by the delicious aroma of his soup. Not wanting to be outdone, Narita made several plates of fried rice for everyone, but Aoyama responded by making many plates of egg rice. The class's cooking lesson eventually turned into a culinary showdown between the two of them. Narita's in-game guild just recruited a new member, and Narita noticed that this cat-eared guy's hairstyle and style were strikingly similar to Aoyama. However, his personality was nothing like that of the quirky Aoyama. One day, Narita happened to spot the emblem of the game he was playing on Aoyama's bag, which made him suspect that Aoyama might also be playing the same game. Today, an ugly frog-faced classmate suddenly asked to borrow Narita's notebook to copy some notes, but Narita didn't want to lend it to her, fearing that she would dirty his clean notebook. So, he rushed to make a photocopy and gave her the copy instead. Right after that, the frog-faced classmate discovered that her gym clothes were missing from her locker. Somehow, everyone accused Narita of stealing her clothes because he always arrived at school so early. They quickly grabbed him, pushed him to the ground, and demanded that he return the stolen clothes. However, Aoyama appeared and brought the gym clothes back to the frog-faced classmate, clearing Narita's name. It turned out that she had absent-mindedly left her clothes in another classroom. The frog-faced girl and the others had to apologize to Narita for wrongly accusing him of theft. Upon seeing the name on Aoyama's in-game emblem, Narita realized that Aoyama was actually the new cat-eared member of his guild. Narita also noticed that Aoyama's personality in the game was completely opposite to his real-life persona. While in the game, Aoyama was incredibly messy, not clean at all. Aoyama's team includes a trio who love to pull comedic pranks to tease everyone, and among them is a perverted four-eyed guy named Tsukamoto. He has a very peculiar ability. He can juggle a ball using his butt. Today, Aoyama's soccer team is having a match against Fuzoku High School. While Tsukamoto was juggling the ball with his butt, a ball suddenly slammed straight into his face. Panicking, he realized that the person who had kicked the ball was none other than Ryu, the captain of Fuzoku's team, the very person who had left him with a scar in the past. Right after that, the soccer match between Fujimi and Fuzoku High Schools began. As soon as the game started, Ryu took the ball and charged straight down the right wing, heading towards Tsukamoto. However, the perverted four-eyed guy just stood there without moving, allowing Ryu to freely shoot the ball into Fujimi's goal. Ryu continued to push the ball down the right wing and easily dodged the useless four-eyed defender again, giving Fuzoku the lead. Tsukamoto was unable to defend whenever he faced the bullying captain, leaving the team frustrated and confused, wondering what was wrong with him. At the end of the first half, the defeated Tsukamoto dejectedly slipped away to hide in the bathroom. It turned out that Tsukamoto had been bullied by Ryu back in middle school, and seeing him again triggered his fear. His two close friends accidentally overheard this, and Aoyama also happened to hear the conversation while cleaning the adjacent bathroom. Soon, the second half of the match between Fujimi and Fuzoku began, and despite his psychological struggles, the useless four-eyed guy was still sent back onto the field to play. The bully captain, Ryu, charged at the loser four-eyed Tsukamoto again. But this time Tsukamoto's close friend, Sakai, immediately rushed in to block Ryu's path. Their other friend, the chubby monkey-like guy, also used his body to block Ryu's shots. Back in middle school, the comedic Tsukamoto used to entertain others with his skill of juggling the ball with his butt, but after being bullied, he quit playing soccer for the rest of middle school. Now in high school, Tsukamoto was fortunate enough to have good friends who appreciated his sense of humor. Thinking about this, Tsukamoto suddenly felt empowered by the strength of friendship and started moving. As Ryu advanced with the ball, Tsukamoto dashed forward and kicked the ball away from him. Aoyama successfully gained possession of the ball and sprinted toward the opponent's goal. When he realized that the opposing team was marking him too tightly, Aoyama passed the ball to Tsukamoto, who instinctively used his butt to strike the ball into the opponent's goal, scoring for their team. In the end, victory belonged to Aoyama and his teammates from Fujimi, and the once defeated four-eyed Tsukamoto overcame his dark past to happily enjoy the moment with his friends. In Aoyama's school, there is a student named Ozaki who is a talented manga artist. The stories Ozaki creates are well loved by many readers as well as his classmates, although his classmates are unaware that he is the one drawing them. One day, the quirky four-eyed Tsukamoto was reading one of Ozaki's manga when the math teacher suddenly confiscated the book. Angry because she had just been cheated on by her boyfriend, she furiously tore the book in half. The angry, betrayed teacher then went to the parking lot, only to find her car covered in paw prints from stray cats. When she learned that the cats were strays being taken care of by Mocha, she decided to punish Mocha and called animal control to have the cats captured. Being straightforward and not one to back down, Mocha wasn't afraid to pull out her spiked baseball bat to quickly resolve the issue. Sensing danger, Ozaki stepped in, grabbing the teacher's phone and throwing it away to prevent a disaster. The cheated teacher demanded compensation for her phone, but Ozaki had only pretended to throw it to protect the cats. Ozaki is a famous manga artist who comes to school every day to find inspiration for his work. After some time observing, he noticed that the clean freak Aoyama was very popular, so he decided to create a villain character, a wizard obsessed with cleanliness, much like Aoyama. However, this wizard character quickly became a fan favorite, much to Ozaki's surprise. In an attempt to make the readers hate the character, Ozaki had the wizard commit increasingly evil deeds, but the more evil the wizard became, the more fans admired his cool persona. The wizard even topped the popularity polls. Frustrated, Ozaki decided to turn the wizard into a foolish, peace-loving weakling, hoping to change public opinion. However, the readers protested against this change, and the manga's sales began to decline. Desperate to win back his audience, Ozaki tried having the wizard join forces with the main character, but the fans continued to boycott the story because they only wanted the wizard to remain a villain. Feeling discouraged, Ozaki eventually wrote the wizard as defeating the main character and taking over the world. When the wizard returned to his former cool, villainous self, the fans once again supported the series enthusiastically. Every time Aoyama plays basketball, he always wears gloves. The basketball club has a stunningly beautiful yet towering girl named Mayo, who is admired by many of the guys. However, despite her size, Mayo is terrible at basketball and has never managed to score a basket. Everyone was shocked when they saw Aoyama consistently sinking shots into the hoop like a machine. Impressed by Aoyama's incredible basketball skills, Mayo asked to become his disciple. Naturally, the guys were jealous because Mayo was their goddess. When the girls' basketball match started, the boys loudly cheered for Mayo, much to the annoyance of the other female players who dismissed the guys as watermelon lovers. As the game began, Mayo quickly stole the ball due to her towering height, but her poor throwing skills meant she couldn't land a single shot while the opposing team effortlessly scored against her team. Aoyama suddenly approached Mayo and offered her advice. However, all he said was, "Emotions," leaving everyone speechless. What they didn't know was that Mayo had just received an emotional boost from his words. She leaped up to make a slam dunk, but the ball unexpectedly bounced out of the hoop. As the ball flew toward Aoyama, he kicked it straight into the basket for her. Despite the unusual method, the guys still celebrated the point, simply because Mayo was beautiful. After her second attempt, Mayo finally succeeded in scoring. Overjoyed, she absent-mindedly patted Aoyama on the back. This caused everyone to panic since Aoyama despised physical contact due to his obsession with cleanliness. However, the clean freak Aoyama showed no reaction at all, leaving everyone utterly perplexed. Naturally, this led to rumors. People began to speculate that Aoyama had romantic feelings for Mayo because he allowed her to touch him. The gossip spread quickly throughout the school, and the female students in Aoyama's fan club grew disheartened. Mocha, assuming Aoyama must be a watermelon lover like the rest of the guys, began eating all kinds of nutritious foods in an effort to achieve a figure like Mayo's. Aoyama, who never arm wrestled with anyone due to his fear of getting dirty, suddenly challenged Mayo to an arm wrestling match, shocking everyone. When Mayo forgot to bring her lunch one day, the clean freak himself offered her his own bento to eat, which further fueled the rumors. Aoyama even invited Mayo to watch his upcoming game, which solidified in everyone's mind that the two were dating. However, during Aoyama's match, Mayo revealed that they weren't actually dating. Aoyama was simply using her to practice becoming more comfortable with physical contact and interacting with his classmates. Upon hearing this, the girls who idolized Aoyama were ecstatic to learn that their idol was still single. Mayo, it turned out, was just the one person who could touch the clean freak without him minding nothing more. Tsubasa is a talented judo fighter and the pride of the school's judo club. However, one day Tsubasa suddenly requested to join the football team, which infuriated his judo coach. But soon, everyone discovered that Tsubasa joined the football team because he liked Mocha. Unfortunately for Tsubasa, Mocha only had eyes for Aoyama, and things got very complicated. Tsubasa liked Mocha, but Mocha only cared about Aoyama. Tsubasa confidently stepped onto the football field to compete with Aoyama, hoping to show Mocha that he was not inferior. But in the face of Aoyama's incredible dribbling skills, Tsubasa couldn't keep up. Meanwhile, the judo coach kept trying to get Tsubasa to return to the club, but he was too busy being distracted by Mocha. Every day, Mocha would meticulously clean the places Aoyama frequented, even going as far as sneaking into the men's restroom to make sure it was spotless so Aoyama could use it comfortably. Seeing Mocha work so hard, Tsubasa decided to lend her a hand. When Aoyama approached them, Mocha, embarrassed, quickly pulled Tsubasa into a corner. Aoyama then cleaned the sink that Mocha had just finished scrubbing. Tsubasa stepped out and told the cleanliness-obsessed Aoyama that Mocha had cleaned the sink for him. Aoyama sincerely thanked Mocha, but his extreme cleaning obsession made him prefer to do things himself. Understanding Mocha's feelings, Tsubasa decided to help her get closer to the useless Aoyama. Tsubasa invited Aoyama and Mocha to the cat festival being held at the zoo this weekend. On the day they went, 3 of the jokers from the football team, along with the judo coach, followed them. During the outing, Mocha kept staring at Aoyama, while Tsubasa only paid attention to Mocha. So, the only one actually observing the animals at the zoo was Aoyama. Mocha couldn't say a word to Aoyama since it was their first time hanging out together. As soon as the cat festival started, Aoyama attracted all the cats with his impressive skills. Coincidentally, Mayo also came to the festival with her friends. When Mayo joined the group, the dynamics became even more chaotic. Every time she stood next to Mayo, Mocha felt insecure because she wasn't as beautiful or as tall as Mayo. Before they left, Tsubasa suggested the group go to the lake in the middle of the park to row boats. Tsubasa tried to keep Mayo aside so Mocha could have some time to talk to Aoyama. Thanks to Tsubasa's encouragement, Mocha finally gained the confidence to speak with Aoyama. Tsubasa helped Mocha because he believed that no high school love lasts forever, and he would wait until Mocha gave up on her feelings for Aoyama. The coach announced that she wanted to organize a training camp for the entire football team, and Zaisen suggested they hold the camp at his house since his family was very wealthy. However, Aoyama didn't like group activities, so he declined to join them. That evening, when Zaisen got home, his father told him that he knew his son was terrible at football, so he wanted to use money to change all the football rules to help Zaisen succeed. Zaisen had a smart and beautiful younger sister named Karen, and everyone was shocked to learn that Karen had invited the entire school to the training camp. Meanwhile, Aoyama had cleaned the bus thoroughly to ensure he could sit comfortably. Before leaving, Zaizen's father didn't forget to give his son a gift from the airdrop box. It turned out that inside the box was a pair of sports shoes. Everyone was amazed because the training camp prepared by Zaizen's family looked like a resort. It turned out that Aoyama changed his mind and decided to join because Karen had prepared a room for him with an extremely fancy air purifier. However, the other guys had to stay in a traditional room that wasn't very comfortable. After putting away their belongings, they all headed to the beach to start training. The football club split into teams to play against each other, but Aoyama didn't want to join because he was afraid the bacteria in the sand would stick to his feet. Mocha had been practicing football to impress Aoyama, but no one expected her football skills to surpass everyone else's. She could even dribble past them with ease, and whenever she couldn't keep up with the guys, she would fall to the ground and fake an injury. Aoyama was given a special pair of sand-proof shoes so he could play football with everyone. He managed to take the ball from Mocha and passed it to Zaisen, but Zaisen couldn't score a goal with his useless leg. After a long training session with various exercises, it was finally time to eat. Everyone was surprised to see that their meal consisted of only a single bean. Karen explained that the bean had been cultivated using new technology, so just one was enough to provide all the necessary nutrients. However, it didn't make them feel full. Suddenly, everyone caught a pleasant aroma wafting through the camp. When they realized Aoyama was cooking, they all rushed over to get a taste of his food. In the days that followed, the training camp turned out to be a lot of fun, and Aoyama gradually became closer with his friends. Zaisen and the three jokers from the team became curious about what Aoyama's house looked like, so after school, the four of them secretly followed Aoyama to his home. Zaisen had to hunch over to pedal his bike while carrying the chubby monkey-faced guy. When they reached a market, Aoyama realized he was being followed, so he swerved off onto another road to shake them off. However, Zaisen and the trio refused to give up, so Zaisen, carrying the bike, jumped down after him and hurt his leg. The other three scolded Zaisen, saying he was stupid for jumping when there was a staircase right there. After following Aoyama until evening, they arrived at a rather ordinary house. These clueless guys barged straight into the house without asking for permission to find Aoyama. However, this wasn't Aoyama's house, it belonged to a football player named Ibuki. It turned out that Aoyama had lost a one-on-one match to Ibuki, so he had to cook for him. The group realized that Ibuki was an outstanding player currently playing for Spain's national team, but instead of caring about that, they were only interested in devouring all of Ibuki's food. The next day, Zaisen and Mocha noticed Aoyama skipping practice and riding his bike somewhere, so Zaisen quickly chased after him. When Zaisen realized that Aoyama was heading to Minami High School, where Takechi was, he became extremely angry, thinking that Takechi was using some trick to lure Aoyama to join Minami's team. In reality, the one who had just joined Minami's team was Ibuki, and Aoyama had come there simply to challenge him to another solo football match. Ibuki's girlfriend mentioned that the two of them had been challenging each other ever since they joined Japan's U16 national team. Ibuki's football skills were several levels above Aoyama's, so he easily dribbled past him and scored a goal. Takechi added that Ibuki's stats, from defense to offense, were all higher than Aoyama's. As for Zaisen, while his football skills were non-existent, his wealth was undoubtedly number one. That evening, the clean freak had to go cook for Ibuki again. Ibuki was currently in trouble with his girlfriend because he accidentally told her that her cooking was terrible. So, Aoyama advised Ibuki to try taking her on a date to mend their relationship. The clean freak also suggested that Ibuki wear a cute cat costume to help calm his girlfriend's anger. However, when she saw Ibuki in the cat outfit, she became even angrier. Following Aoyama's advice, Ibuki gave his girlfriend a cookbook as a gift, but that only made her more upset. Aoyama then suggested that the two of them play football together, because he believed that football is a sport that can bring people closer. In the end, Ibuki and his girlfriend forgot all their frustrations and made up. Sakai, one of the trio of jokers, recently got a haircut that looks exactly like Aoyama's. Not only did his hair change, but Sakai's football skills also became as good as Aoyama's, which quickly made him the center of attention on the field, attracting many female fans. Sakai's cool image shocked the other jokers, and they were furious because he started acting arrogant and looking down on them. Every time a girl gave him a gift, he'd smirk in a way that made them want to punch him. The bespectacled pervert tried to bring Sakai back to the group by showing off his ball juggling skills with his backside, but Sakai refused to return to his old self. Now he was enjoying life, constantly receiving love confessions from female students. Zaisen panicked when he heard that the coach wanted to replace him with Sakai as the striker. Recently, Sakai had been hearing the voice of the football god blessing him. Even though Zaisen never managed to kick the ball properly, he was determined not to lose to Sakai. In the following matches, Zaisen had to sit on the bench so that Sakai could play. Zaisen's father told him that if he didn't reclaim his position as striker, he would have to quit football. Defeated, Zaisen went to Mocha for help, remembering how good she was at the training camp. Mocha set up the ball in front of an empty goal and asked Zaisen to try kicking it. Surprisingly, something as difficult as kicking the ball outside of the goal was exactly what Zaisen managed to do. Knowing that his son was working hard in training, Zaisen's father went to the football field to visit him. He wanted to use money to pressure the coach into putting Zaisen back on the field to avoid wasting time. However, Mocha got angry and gave both father and son a beating for always wanting to take shortcuts. After a period of hard training, Zaisen finally managed to score a goal. Sometime later, Sakai suddenly changed his hairstyle. It turned out that the god of football had been blessing Sakai because he mistakenly thought Sakai was Aoyama. When the god realized Sakai wasn't Aoyama, he abandoned him. Since then, Sakai's football skills deteriorated dramatically, and he became determined to impersonate Aoyama even more to bring the god of football back. But when Mocha heard this, she forbade him from impersonating Aoyama. Sakai was extremely panicked without the god's blessing, and while not paying attention, he was accidentally pulled back to the comedy team by some of his friends. Currently, several people have come to invite Aoyama to join more prestigious clubs than Fujimi. Seeing this, Zaisen became worried that Aoyama might leave Fujimi. However, Zaisen still decided to respect Aoyama's decision if he truly wanted to go. A few days later, they had a match against Kuraishi School. Before the game, everyone suddenly saw Zaisen looking at a picture of his mother with a sad expression, leading them to think that his mother might have passed away long ago, but he hadn't shared this with anyone. After the two teams finished discussing their strategies, the match officially began. Fujimi faced a lot of difficulties because Kuraishi's players were significantly taller than them. Just a few minutes into the game, Kuraishi easily scored the first goal. Zaisen tried to drive the ball toward the opponent's goal, but their defense was too solid. Kuraishi soon scored another goal from a corner kick. They were aware that Aoyama could only unleash his full strength in the last 5 minutes of the match, so they rushed forward, aiming to score a third goal. But just as the ball was about to fly into the goal, Aoyama appeared, sliding in to kick it out. Aoyama's uniform got dirty, and he couldn't stay calm enough to keep playing. So, Zaisen did his best to defend, even using his face to block the opponent's shots. Seeing Zaisen's effort, the other teammates quickly joined in the counterattack. Everyone was thrilled when Aoyama regained his form in the last 5 minutes of the match. Aoyama passed the ball to Zaisen for him to score, but Zaisen's leg was injured. At that moment, Zaisen suddenly spotted his mother cheering for him from the stands. With renewed determination, he sprinted toward the opponent's goal and scored with a header. After that, Aoyama scored 2 more goals, securing the victory for Fujimi. It turned out Zaisen's mother hadn't passed away. She was doing charity work in Africa. After watching her son's game, she boarded a helicopter to continue her mission. Aoyama revealed that he had declined offers from bigger teams to stay with Fujimi. Everyone was shocked when he explained that his reason for staying was simply because he liked wearing clean, white uniforms. And that concludes the story of the clean freak Aoyama. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos.